What is up, it's Figure Hunter, and today I'm standing because today we're gonna review the Ruckercise Amazon low-cost rucking backpack relative to the GoRuck full-price rucking backpack, because every year we do something in CrossFit on Veterans Day called the Chad workout, which is 1,000 20-inch step-ups with a 45-pound backpack. Every year, and so I always do it. That's the shirt. I had to have the shirt. I got a patch too, because whenever you step up 20 inches with a 45-pound backpack for an hour plus, and it's over an hour for me, you want to buy the shirt because it's just pure suffering. I remember the first time I did Chad, and I remember thinking, because he took his life as a sort of PTSD from a culmination of things, that's my understanding, is he got to the point with a wife and 2 young kids where he took his life. And I thought of being in that dark place in such a way that you would take your life, that it was important almost to suffer through the long, painful workout, grinding through the monotony and the suffering in order to sort of think about your own mental toughness, your own mental determination to overcome, to climb the mountain. And so it's somewhat important to me for that aspect. Because it's sad he took his life, and it's also important to think about mental health. So the last couple years, I've used just a regular old backpack. Generic backpack, no padding, and then I'll put crap like this, which I got from something, and just sort of wrap it up in there. And in the past, I have used like this. Like, this is a 25-pound plate, and I use like a flatter version of this. I actually sold mine to Play It Again Sports because... Well, ow, these things are so heavy. I have the 45-pound plate. I'm not going to put it on the marble because it'll probably crack it, but 45-pound plate. And this one is from a company called Yes for All, which I got on Amazon, and they shipped me this thing. It cost less than a pound, $1 a pound. It was like $68. So I have to step up 20 inches 1,000 times. And a good time is like 65 minutes. And my times are like 80. So this year, because I've done it 2 years now, I thought, well, I'm gonna try to put together as low cost of a setup as I can to do the Chad workout for this in years to come. So I got the plate, I figured that out. You can get the Yes for All off Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below. 45-pound plate, you can get a 30 and a 15, whatever you want. You can get 4 10s and a 5. With the 45-pound plate, and then I started looking at rucksacks, and not all rucksacks are the same, and definitely not all rucksacks, even from GoRuck, hold the 45-pound long ruck weight. I know this is all technical, but what happened to me in this and why I wanted to do a video is that I started looking at this company called Ruckercise. So Ruckercise is a similar sort of makeshift company that has a replica type backpack. And I wrestled with looking at used GoRuck backpacks on Amazon and Marketplace, and they sell really high. They're basically like $40 less than buying a new one, so why wouldn't you just buy a new one? So Ruckercise is a very similar setup and design. This is 21 liters, and the ruck pack that I have as a comparison is the Rucker 4.0, which is 20 liters. So it's about the same size. And then the thing that I want, because I want it to be as relatively like tight to my body, is I got this hip belt. It's called a hip belt. It's an accessory item. You can buy one for GoRuck, and you can also buy one for Ruckercise, which actually drew me to their solution as well. There's a couple of other ruck backpack companies out there, Wild something I think, but they don't hold the 45-pound plate, so they're not really an option for the Chad solution that I was looking for. But I wanted this hip belt thing, and sure enough, Ruckercise makes one hip belt. The hip belt came in and the Ruckercise backpack came in, and to me, I was just sort of like, it feels off, and so I didn't know what to compare it to. So I thought, I'm gonna do a review looking in real time at the Ruckercise relative to the GoRuck Rucker. So the Ruckercise specifically, if we're looking at that, is $160. It has a plate carrier inside it, and I'm gonna get it all out and we'll look at it together on camera, like on this front-facing camera. It has a plate carrier, and that's all you kind of need. It's like a plate, a place to hold the plate, a place to hold a hip belt, if that's important to you, which it is to me, Good padding, good comfort relatively, but a sleeve that would hold the 45-pound plate. That's and then padding behind the 45-pound plate, so you don't have to put those little stupid pads in that I do. So the Ruckercise came, and then the first thing I felt was the padding on the shoulders was like, I don't know, it doesn't feel very good. It doesn't feel squishy. It feels really stiff. The padding on the hip belt feels really stiff. Maybe it breaks in over time. There's reviews on Amazon, but they're all like, oh, this is great. And anytime somebody says on a knockoff brand, oh, this is great, I just think, I don't know. I don't know if it's a true, legit review. So we're gonna look at this and then compare it to the GoRuck. So you look at the GoRuck, it's got this cool thing where they said that it's like non-abrasive back, so you can you can wear without a shirt. I thought that was pretty cool, sort of slippery. It's got an extra padded on the lumbar, and it definitely has the casing, and look on the inside. We'll look at this a little bit more in detail too. I'm just sort of doing the big reveal because I literally just got it. And I don't know which one I'm going to keep. I'm going to send one back or send one keep, or maybe I'll send both back and just not use it, keep it brand new condition. I do love that this is orange. You can see things so well when something is orange. That's actually very helpful for looking in a backpack. I really am drawn to this. This is looking good already. But the thing about the Rucker is the case. So we'll look at that in a second. But back to the point, what I was saying was that I'm going to keep one of them. Either I will return them both in perfectly unused condition so they can be resold as brand new, or I maybe will keep the new Rucker. I can almost tell you right out of the gate just by feeling the difference in the padding. Not likely to keep the Ruckercise because it feels different. We're going to look at how it is different in a second. And I might look at a second hand. I might just try to find somebody that's going to sell it for $200, even though this was $255. So it's $55 plus tax. Maybe you find it on Marketplace for $200. That's still savings. And the thing about GoRuck is it's lifetime guarantee. So you tear, break something in here, it's going to get replaced. The only downside is that they sell for like almost as much as new ones. So we got them unzipped, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get this stupid camera, and I'm no expert at cameras. If you've followed this channel before, I'm no expert with cameras. We got that down. We all know that. So first looking at the straps and looking at the padding. So the padding on here, if I'm looking at the padding on the GoRuck on the right versus, it's for sure and definitively different. Let's see if I can there we go. It just feels different. It just feels actually like cushiony on the GoRuck with some definite give to it, and it's got sort of curvature to it. The underside of the Ruckercise feels scratchy. This feels smooth because it's got that smooth fabric on the inside. That's a big deal if you're carrying 45 pounds. Additionally, looking at the back fabric of each of them, I'll try to make this not so torturous for the viewer, but it's just going to be a slightly torturous. Looking at the back fabric, I shouldn't have unzipped it before. The back fabric, scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. And if I were to compare the padding, I got to get in here and feel to both sides. The padding on here feels like, that same squishy padding is here. So it feels like it's got a layer of squish. Now let's check the Ruckercise for the same padding on there. Ah, screw it, leave it there. Okay, this is pathetic padding. This is like one of those like extra squishy padding that's not thick foam, that's not gonna carry a resilience. So the Ruckercise, I should have never unzipped it. I'm such an idiot. So the Ruckercise has this sort of felt thick memory foam padding. The GoRuck has this felt thick memory foam padding, and the Ruckercise, it's like the old backpack padding. It's actually not thick, not dense at all. So that's a big deal. If we look at the lumbar support, so the lumbar support on the GoRuck is super thick. It's like double thick in the back, which is gonna make a huge difference if you're carrying a heavy weight for a long period of time. Even if you're doing this recreationally, that's a big deal. And if you look at the lumbar support on the Ruckercise, it's just the same pathetic padding. It's like that old backpack padding that's really just there. It'll squish quickly. Now, just to make a note, they both have the mole, whatever system on the side if you want to do accessories. And I don't really care about, we're not looking at who's got zippered pockets or something like that. So next up, We're gonna put the GoRuck aside because it's obviously dominating out of the gate. And we're gonna say, okay, well, what if we had to put a ruck like the padding in here? So number one, it does have the extra large pouch. So you see the extra large pouch here. This is the long pouch. This is the short pouch if you were using a shorter ruck. It actually is not quite, doesn't look like it's quite designed like cut out. It should be like cut out like this, but it doesn't have an edge. It's just a big opening, like one big circle of fabric. This has sort of an edge. Both would hold. If I stick my hand all the way in there, it's flat on the bottom, so there's no, so you can see down towards the bottom here. It's sitting up a little bit off of the back because you don't want it like resting on the bottom. It'd be better to have it floating a little bit. It's floating a little bit. And then if I look to feel, let's see if I can angle it down. If I look to feel, it's rigid, but it's like a piece of plastic. Lord, if it was cardboard, it's just going to disintegrate over time. Yeah, it's like one piece of plastic. So it's one piece of plastic that goes into the generic padding. So that's not good. You know, obviously having one piece of plastic, and the plastic goes beyond the edge of where the ruck weight would go. So it's going to cover the whole ruck weight space across the board. Again, I don't really care about fabric or pockets and zippers, but at least it has the pocket, which not every backpack can say. So it's accomplishing that. And it has, you know, the ability to seal down, which holds it directly to your back. But now let's put aside, because now we looked at the sleeve on one, let's look at the sleeve on the Go Rucksack. So number one, it's big and beautiful in the way it looks. And then more Velcro, I can definitely tell you that. It's got this big pad up top, like this big pad here, which is kind of cool. I don't know what it would be for though. Well, it's got two big pads. So there's double extra big pads up there. So let's take a look, see if that's zipped all the way down. On the bottom, and no real significant padding on the bottom. It looks like it's kind of floating similar, if I'm being honest, similar to the other pack. But if we open this with the weird padding up top, it's two big sleeves. So short sleeve is in the closest to the back, and then one long sleeve. Or no, I'm sorry. The long sleeve is actually closest to the back, which is actually what you would want. It's long sleeves on the inside, and then the short sleeves on the outside. It does have a lot more rigidity to the fabric, which actually is really good because you're putting huge weights in here. It's funny because the short sleeve has more rigidity, and the long sleeve is a little bit looser, thinner fabric. And then the difference, okay, so on the backpack, where it goes in your back, it's just all that more cushiony, whatchamacallit, padding. So that thick padding. So it does not have a plastic plate. It does have a thick exterior plate in there, and then it goes to the padding, which is really just the extra padding here, and the lumbar support. So if I was to compare the sleeves of one versus the sleeves of other, I would say for sure the GoRuck pack, they both have YKK zippers. They both have these extra durable, thick zippers. If I was to look at the Ruckercise, oops, sorry. Zip that back up. Sorry for some of this real-time stuff, but you know, you're on this journey with me. Except for you're probably not going to want to be on this journey for much longer if I keep doing this crap. So, you know, the zippers feel big and strong. The fabric externally feels fine. It just feels like this is 1.5 times thickness. All the fabric everywhere feels 1.5 times thickness of the more generic. So if I look at them side by side, and if I do a comparison, like what I really think. So if I look at what I feel the comparison, this is definitively more pronounced when it comes to what you would experience, what you would feel, what you would get, what the benefit would be. So the GoRuck backpack at a lifetime guarantee, the biggest thing is the shoulder strap difference. Like this shoulder strap on the Ruckercise just feels like it's got it just has low quality foam in it. It's thick, it's rigid, but it doesn't feel high quality. And then the fact that they have the scratchy insides and then the scratchy here, and that this is just generic foam. It's not anything special. And that's what's gonna be on your back with the weight inside it. So I think the way they do it is they use a plastic plate, one sort of like interior plastic plate right on the other side of the ruck weight, and then just traditional squish to traditional cushioning, as well as the traditional mesh on the back. But on the GoRuck, you have extra thick padding as the primary source, a little bit thicker right on the inside where the ruck plate is, but everything on the back side is both smoother fabric. This is designed to be worn shirtless so you don't get abrasion there, as well as underneath the edges of each of the shoulder straps, and a better casing for holding the weight itself, plus the lifetime guarantee, and plus everything just feels thicker in fabric. So that's my review for anybody that is curious about rucking and rucking backpacks, because the Ruckercise is new and it is $160 versus $255. So it is less expensive by a multiple about $100. That's kind of a big deal. And the hip belt is like $25 versus $35 or $40 for the hip belt on GoRuck. So the total package is going to be more expensive. So I just wanted to see both of them hand in hand for my own sake and for doing a review to see if I have any opinion on the Ruckercise. So I think if you can afford it, I think it's worth it. If you're gonna buy one of these to do real rucking, you probably should just wait and buy a real one, especially because the lifetime guarantee that has all that better engineering, better mechanics, and functionally it's gonna feel more comfortable and probably will last a lot longer versus one that's a little bit less expensive, that might be less comfortable, might not last as long, and is gonna save you about $95 over the real one. So that's it for the Ruckercise versus the GoRuck Rucker 21 liter versus the 20 liter. It's the Fit Gear Hunter. Thanks so much for watching.